Eid Mubarak, everyone. In the spirit of Eid, we at Canadian Muslim News have planned quite a special episode today. Now, have you ever wondered what it takes to transport a masjid to Arctic Canada? Well, our next guest has in her new picture book, Journey of the Midnight Sun. It is my pleasure to welcome Sister Shazia Afzal. Welcome, Sister Shazia, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sister Shazia, I'd like to begin by asking you, what is your new book about?
The book Journey of the Midnight Sun, published by Orca Publishers, is about a real story. It's a true story that happened 12 years ago. In North Inuvik, the Muslim community was growing and they didn't have a bigger mosque. It was too expensive to build one. So with the help of a charitable organization in Winnipeg, Manitoba, they built the mosque in Winnipeg and transported it via road and then via ship on a barge through the river all the way up to Inuvik, 4,000 kilometers. It took 22 days for the mosque to be transported from Winnipeg to Inuvik.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a picture book suggesting that the target audience is for children in their primary years. What methods did you use to transport the story into a simple narrative for them to understand?
I think the story itself is simple, but I think the best part is the illustrations that have done that. The illustrator has done a beautiful job, and they are just what the kids need, all the things that are happening in the story. It's the mosque that's traveling, and there are hurdles along the way on the road. And people come and help. Everyone comes and helps to make this journey a success. And I think it's a message that's good for everyone, but especially for children, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, the audience is mainly younger children, but I also understand that it was meant for people of different or various faiths to read and understand as well. How did you make your book accessible to other religions?
It's based on a real story. And in Inuvik, there are the different communities over there, and they all were together. And a small community like a family, everyone helped everyone together. And along the journey, everyone helps. So there's like everyone, doesn't matter what the faith is, which faith someone belongs to. They just came together and helped to make this journey a success.
Mm-hmm. So I see that it's more around the common theme of community and coming together, where it invites other religions to come and read the book. So you relay that it's quite a touching story of the community coming together. How did you hear about this story of this mosque and then make it into a book?
It's the best part of the whole thing. I found out about this story when it was actually happening. That was 2010. I was in a private school, and I wanted my staff, my teachers, to teach something about a mosque. And I said, let's find books about mosques. And we searched the library, we searched the internet. There was not a single storybook about a mosque. Mm-hmm. Then this teacher comes to me and says, Shazia, look at this. We can use this as a story. And when I read it, I was like, what? A mosque traveling? It was just unbelievable. I said, sure, go ahead, use it. I went back home and I searched the internet, and I took all the articles that were happening at the time about the journey, and I printed them and kept them with me. And I said, this is a message that the children need to know, of being together. It doesn't matter who you are, being together, helping together, and, getting stronger together. So at that time, of course, I didn't know how to write books. And in the last 10 years, I've been taking writing courses and working with coaches like Vince Robert and Brian Henry and so on. Finally, in 2019, I pulled out all those sheets again, and I started working on this manuscript. Again, now I want to write about it. And alhamdulillah, it was selected in 2020 and published in 2022. Alhamdulillah.
And that explanation ties in well into why there's such a strong focus on community and ties with peace and harmony. And now I went over the book yesterday, and I remember looking back at the title, Midnight Sun, and I was wondering to myself, why did you choose Midnight Sun as the title for this book?
Because the mosque is called the Midnight Sun.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the masjid is Midnight Sun, and that is because it's up in the Arctic. That's where you have sunlight. For the sun stays up for most of the time, 24 hours for some months, and then it's dark for some months. So it's called the Midnight Sun Mosque.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to ask a little bit about how the book was received in the community. What is some of the feedback that you've gotten so far?
I have gotten wonderful feedback, and from everyone, not just Muslims, anyone. I actually did a read aloud, online read aloud to some public schools, and I'm going on
Mm-hmm.
for a read aloud another next week as well. Very, very, very encouraging reviews, and the same thing. They like the message. They like the message. One of my comments I got from a sister was, "Oh, I like it. I can see an architect in there, and she's a girl with the hijab in there." But
Mm-hmm.
everyone all over, the message of being together and helping together is so strong. It just rings with everyone, every faith, every culture, and I think that comes down to alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, may Allah keep us all safe. But that's where Canada is, right? We're all
Mm-hmm.
together, we're all
Exactly.
living together in harmony, and we help each other.
Exactly. And now you said that writing this book was quite a long process. You said that over the course of 10 years, you took some writing courses to really focus on your skills and center in on this project. What are some personal challenges that you came across, other than, of course, focusing on improving your writing, that helped you over these 10 years?
Um, a lot. I had to, of course, manage what I'm doing. I'm a teacher, and I run into my own daycare as well, Islamic Montessori, and managing all that work plus trying to get the writing done. And for this particular book, I had to do research as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go back and dig up all the previous articles, listen to any news articles that were there. So because it's a real story, I just can't make things up. I have to write exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I also came across a very neat documentary, The Arctic Mosque by Snow Angel Films. And I
Mm-hmm.
purchased it and I watched it a couple of times, made notes to make sure I'm doing everything exactly the way it happened. So that was challenging. In some places I didn't know exactly where this thing happened, so I couldn't say, but okay, along the journey. But I tried to make sure it's as much true as possible. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was a tough part, where I had to make sure it's true. And
Mm-hmm.
even when the illustrations were being done, the illustrator, when in the book, if you see in one place where the sailor is driving the boat, the
Mm-hmm.
illustrator made a lady over there. And I said, no, no, no. In the real one, in the document, you can see a man there. So please make sure it's a man, because in the real document, it was a man. You don't want to make things up like that. So I had to make sure that as
Exactly.
much true as possible. So that
Mm-hmm.
was that
Yeah.
was where I had to really put a lot of time and effort and thinking
Yeah,
into it.
exactly. I think especially considering how you mentioned there weren't many books on mosques, that it was very important to get all the factual details perfectly in this book. And so I'm glad that you're able to relay that as a challenge to us. Do you have any more plans to write more books in the future?
I do. I do. I have a lot of manuscripts. I'm still working. I work with Naima bint Robert and Brian Henry to take workshops and classes, and Hand Hijazi. So I'm in the process of, quite a few of them are there. But I do wish to write the same one again, Midnight
Mhm.
Sun Journey, but for older children,
Okay.
for older, the middle grade, where I can give more details and the real hurdles. Because in the picture book, we have to simplify things a bit. It's just,
Hmm.
okay, the signboards, you took them off. That's it.
Hmm.
But in the real, like, there's a lot more happening, a lot more stress because of the time crunch and about the
Hmm.
money and everything. So it was more, but that things that you can only bring out in writing. But also I do, hopefully, inshallah, write about it in the future, inshallah. But that's
Inshallah. Well, thank you so much, Sister Shazia, for joining us and telling us about your new book. It was great to see how it was a 10-year-long journey and how you made your dream a reality with this new book. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan.
You were watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. That's it from our Toronto studios tonight. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more Canadian Muslim content. Eid Mubarak, stay safe, everyone, and until next time.